Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long time. Hope you haven't missed me too much. But yeah, I've got some news for you guys. Some major news. I've been officially replaced by an Indian, and I'm not joking, guys. Literally, I've been made redundant, and an Indian has taken over my job. He comes much cheaper. He's obviously not as skilled as me, but he's probably got himself a fake degree, fake experience, and fake references to get himself a job. And they decided they pay me too much, and they decided to let me go. And they're going to keep the Indian, which is like half the salary what I get. So the good news is I'm able to do YouTube videos now full time because a lot of you probably don't remember about so I've been working almost two jobs now for last couple of years. Obviously the economy is not good, so I've been trying to work hard, make as much money as possible. I've also got a family to support as well, and also I had to kind of spend some time with loved ones as well, so it didn't really give me much time to do much YouTube videos. And another thing, my YouTube videos caused a lot of controversy, and the police knocked on my door and gave me a warning. They said I was under investigation because of the content I was posting. So I kind of took a break from it all, but I'm slowly starting to come back. I've been doing a video here and there, and still I was working as well, so it's made life quite difficult. But I don't have any excuses anymore now. I've officially been replaced by an Indian, so what I'm thinking of doing is working on making YouTube videos full time. So I'll be working normal hours like I do in a normal job, 9 to 5, and I'll be churning out as many videos as possible. Obviously, I have to do my research that comes with it and my investigations, and then I can, I also need to decide what to say and prepare my script. Then I can do the videos from there. And I'm thinking of doing more than one channel. I'll obviously be doing this one. I'll be continuing with my China channel as well, and I'll also be doing a new one talking about finance and things like that. So yeah, guys, this is my story, and coincidentally, there has been a massive H1B visa issue on the internet, especially on Twitter or X. And it was quite funny to see, actually, to be honest. I mean, even though I haven't been doing much videos, I have been on X time to time. Not too much time, but sometimes I do browse through it and I do see things going on, things that are trending. And one of the things that have been happening over the past few days is this massive H1B visa crisis happened in the United States. And people were waking up. People were waking up because they couldn't believe what they were seeing and hearing. And I'll show you what I mean by people have been waking up. It's almost crazy. So this is one of the stats that came out. And you can see the median US household income by selected groups. This is in 2019, by the way. Obviously, things are much higher now. So you can see the Indians are top of the wage. They have been getting all the highest wages because most of the Indians are in high paid jobs. They are in tech, and tech normally pays the highest wages. So that's not the problem. The problem lies is the next slide I'm going to show you. So this slide shows the number of countries with H1B visas in 2020, and you can see India is at the top. 319 or 320,000 in 2020, by the way. This is 4 years ago. So now it's almost 2025. So you can imagine this figure going much, much higher. And just to give you an indication of how much higher it has gone, the US has issued more than 1 million non-immigrant visas to India, and he has also issued 5 million visas to India over the past year or two. So that's like, you know, that's like a huge increase. I'm going to come back to this article later on. So you can see it's not just the USA, by the way. It's in UK as well. In UK, there are 1.9 million people in UK. And last year alone, you can see in London, last year alone, we have let in 250,000 Indians into UK with work, 127,000 with work visas, 115,000 who came to study, and 9,000 for other reasons. And Indians make up the highest number of immigrants coming to UK. This is not a problem until they start taking your jobs and replacing you, which has happened to me. So I'm extremely pissed about this. And this is not the first time, guys, I've been replaced by an Indian. I've been replaced by an Indian 3 times in my life. Three jobs I have been replaced by an Indian. And this is a career I've had over spanning more than 20 years. So 3 organizations. I thought I had a very cushy job, very secure, no issues. I didn't even get into trouble with any of these jobs apart from my YouTube videos. So I was, I had lots of experience and stuff, and by the end of the day, businesses want to make money, they want to save money, and if they can find a way to save money, you are surplus to their requirements. They will get rid of you in a shot, in a heartbeat, if it means that companies pay lower salaries. And so let's talk about this, guys. Let's talk about this. And if you haven't come on to this channel before, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. All of these help the algorithm. So I want to start doing more and more YouTube videos now, guys. So let's start getting the algorithm back up, and let's get this show on the road. So Elon Musk has, over the past few days, he has been supporting the H1B migrant visa. And you can see from the numbers I've given you, there is a huge amounts of Indians being issued these visas and coming in and replacing good workers from said country, whether it's America, whether it's UK, whether it's Canada, it doesn't matter. So I don't think people minded too much when Indians come in and take the jobs that nobody else wants to do, like the jobs that low skilled, low wage. I don't think they minded that. But as soon as the data started coming out that Indians are taking all the high-tech jobs, and you see so many Indians are CEOs of top tech companies all over, like Google and many other tech companies, and you see Indians right at the top. So what you see is most Indians do, they tend to hire other Indians or people that they know, and especially in my company, right, guys? I mean, I have noticed a gradual increase in Indians coming into my company, and people were being made redundant in my company, and I didn't think they would make me redundant because I was pretty good at my job, and I was getting very good results and appraisals from my managers. So I thought I was pretty safe, but in the day, nobody's safe when it comes to money, right? So I noticed a gradual increase in Indians coming into my company. First in the tech sector, then in other parts of the organization, and slowly, it came to a point where I think it was around 80% of the employees in my office were Indian, and I just couldn't believe it. And obviously, I was one of the few, non-Indians working there, and I used to always talk to my colleague and thinking, bloody hell, we're being taken over here. And this has been a gradual thing over the years. Slowly they have been pouring in, and I kid you not, guys. I am going to tell you this true story. And I knew a few of the Indians. I get on with like a lot of people, and sometimes I'm in the canteen, and the canteen is like New Delhi. You have so many Indians in the canteen, and they all kind of get their packed lunches. They don't eat from outside. They have the packed lunches. Probably their wives make it for them and stuff, and they all eat together. And I knew a couple of them, and I used to have a chat with them, and I used to ask them the question: how do you guys get these tech jobs so easily? Like when I first started my career, guys, I'm not joking. I needed a degree, and I needed 7 interviews to get in my first tech job. 7 interviews. Can you believe that? So I had to, first of all, my first interview was with the hiring manager. Then the next interview was the hiring manager's manager. Then the next interview was with HR. Next interview was with the CEO. The next interview I had to do a test. Next interview I had to do like a group exercise, and only one person from the group exercise would go to the next stage. And my final interview would be with a panel of team members and managers and supervisors I'm going to be working with and things like that. So it's an extremely difficult process. That they do all the checks, like they check my degree, they check my history, my experience and stuff. And what I found to my shock is a lot of these Indians who come in and they get jobs in UK, and this is Indians actually telling me, like, face to face, and I'm not joking about this. A lot of them get, they said to me, a lot of them don't even have degrees, they have fake degrees. So they say that, when they apply to these jobs in UK, they say, I've got a degree in the University of Delhi. And there's no way the UK there's no way my job will kind of call the University of Delhi and verify it. There is no way they will do that. And secondly, what they do, they get these fake degrees. They can get them anywhere in India. And also you need experience. So what a lot of these Indians do, they have a very good network in India. They have, they know everyone and anyone. So what they do, they give their friends who have got existing jobs in certain companies, they give their friends names as experiences and references. So these people, so my company will email them, and they will say, how is this person, blah blah blah, and their friends will give them a really good reference, and that's how they get it, and they get a visa to come into the UK to work, and they basically get a skilled labor for half the price. And a lot of the Indians, they can speak English, right? And one of the things they can't do is the actual job itself, which is skill. You need lots of skill to do this job. So you might think, what is the point of getting fake degrees if you can't do the job? Well, let me tell you something. The Indians are very resourceful people. They have a very good network. And I have sat with many Indians in my company, and when shit goes south, when things go wrong, I have seen them straight on their WhatsApp, and they're like messaging friends in India, asking them what to do, what do I do, and basically they have a support group where they know anyone and everyone in every single sector, and whenever problems happen, they will contact that person, or they will contact that person's friend, and they'll get support instantly. And also you got internet, you can Google things when things go wrong as well. So there really isn't any jobs that you can't do. You can pretty much do everything. This is, when you're in tech, it's not like you need a doctor's degree or anything like that. With tech, it's basically every solution is online. I used to work with a software company called Oracle, and whenever we have any problems, Oracle used to have a support website where you can log in and you can just type in the error message, and they will basically give you the solution. You know, you don't really need to be an expert in tech to basically follow this procedure. So this is what the Indians do. This is what they're very good at. They're very good at support. They're very resourceful. They know where to look. They know how to get support if there's any issues. And they have a very good network. Like they have friends. They have friends who know friends. Whenever they're stuck, they kind of help each other. So a number of times, you know, they'll be on their WhatsApp asking questions. What do I do now? How do I fix this? And they'll get replies instantly. And I'm looking at through their shoulders and I'm asking them, who's that? How do you know, what's going on? And, you know, and so they would tell me, you know, a lot of them who come into our company and other companies, they said how they used to gloat how easy it is to get jobs in the West, especially UK. They said, oh, we just put any degree, we just come up with fake degrees, fake experiences. We have friends who will give us references, and we just apply. And it's so easy to get jobs in UK. It's hard. They said it's harder to get jobs in India because they do actual checks. But they said if you apply UK or America, they don't do checks because nobody's gonna call India and do that. It's all through email and things like that. So for them, they have a very advantage, especially in this day and age where companies are pushed to hire DEI. So, you know, if you're white and skillful, they rather hire somebody who's DEI, which is, you know, any other race apart from white, and they'll hire them instead of the white person, right? So Indians have a very, very good time getting, you know, tech jobs because of the DEI processes, HR, you know, and plus they are very cheap. So this is the same thing that happened during feminism. You know, one of the reasons they pushed feminism was because they wanted to put, you know, half the population into the workforce, because women at that time, you know, there were women workers, but not as many as now. Women, you know, preferred, you know, to have that choice whether they want to go to work or not. But what feminism and what, you know, pushing women into the workforce has done is basically now women are forced to work. They have to go to the workforce. They need to survive. So when they did push women into the workforce, the two beneficiaries were companies, because more people in the workforce means they didn't have to raise salary because of more competition. So they can keep the salary low because more workers you have, the less your supply and demand, basically. You don't have to raise your wages. For example, you know, if you have one skilled position and you have 100 people, you know, applying for it, you can keep that salary low because you have so many options. However, if you have one skilled position but you only have one person you can find, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. You need that one skilled person, and there's only one person that can do it. But that person has got many options. He's got options of working in different companies because of his skill set. You know, companies basically up their bid. They raise their salary to get that person. So if there's one person with all the skills that you need, you know, you're going to have many companies going after him. So they have to, you know, increase their salaries 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. So it's basically supply and demand, guys. So the more people you have in the workforce, the less you have to pay. So now what they've done, they're flooding the market with Indians with the H1B visa, and these Indians are basically doing you know, the same labor but much cheaper. The quality, they don't really care about the quality. They don't care about, you know, the experience. They don't care about that. As long as they can get that position filled, that's all they care about. And they feel that if they can have 1 or 2 supervisors who are extremely skillful, and they run a team of Indians, say 20 or 30 of them. They think that, having that, skilled, two or three people who can do that quality assurance, they can manage that team of 20, 30 Indians. So that's what their goal is. That's what their thinking is. However, I was on an X space and somebody was talking about why don't they give these Indians remote jobs? Well, the reasons they cannot give them remote jobs, I mean, this is a tried and tested process. One of my previous jobs, which I also got made redundant for, was basically they outsourced the whole IT sector to a remote company in India. And a lot of companies in UK were doing that. They were outsourcing all their skills to Indian companies. This was way back in 2010, 2011. And the problem with that is it caused a lot of fraud. Because India is the scam capital of the world, you had a lot of Indians who were stealing customer data, customer credit cards, company secrets, and they were selling it on the black market. And then UK and especially in America, they started putting regulations in place where companies had to have local data centers and they cannot, do remote jobs, especially to India. It has to be local, it has to be local people coming in and doing these jobs. And also these local people need to go through specialized security checks to make sure they're not criminals and stuff to access the system. So a lot of these rules came into place, and then the remote working positions basically stopped. Apart from call centers, they can still do remote jobs, but the IT sector and stuff started changing. But then that's when the H1B visas started coming in, and then companies in UK and United States started importing loads of these Indians coming in with H1B visas, and they just basically flooded the market. And Elon here, the only reason he's supporting H1B is because his companies like Tesla and also SpaceX and also Twitter X are basically Indian. Full of Indians running it. And I've seen on X a particular post where you can see the number of Indian employees, especially in Tesla. And it's huge. We're talking about 30, 40,000, hired by Tesla themselves. And do you remember the story when Elon came in and fired everyone from Twitter? When he first bought Twitter, he fired everyone from Twitter. I don't know if you guys remember. And then he said he brought his own team in, and he replaced the whole staff with basically Indian workers with H1B visas. He basically cut the salary down by less than half because he replaced all the local workers with imported cheap labor from India. And this is why Elon Musk is supporting the H1B. And this is because he's a billionaire and he's a business owner. So he's going to obviously support this because he's the one taking most advantage from H1B. So that's the thing, really. I think Elon is being a bit of a hypocrite, and everyone that supports Elon Musk, they have to know that first of all he is a businessman. So he's going to support whatever makes him money. And what makes him money is getting cheaper labor from India, doing cheaper work rather than, paying high salaries to local skilled people. You can get, the same skills from India for half the price. Probably not the same quality, but, on paper, the same skills. But I wouldn't say the same quality because some of the qualities I've seen, especially in my workplace, have been terrible because a lot of them come with fake degrees and fake experience. They don't know what they're doing. They're basically they got into the job somehow and they're just winging it, most of them. And then I have to basically fix a lot of the issues that they cause. So obviously I don't have to do that anymore because I've been made redundant. But yeah, that's their problem now. But yeah, so Trump came out. I think yesterday or the day before, and he basically supported Elon Musk with the H1B visa stuff, and Trump has been getting a lot of pushback from his MAGA supporters because this goes completely against all of the MAGA principles. You know, those who don't know what MAGA is, it's Make America Great Again, America First, and everything. So it goes completely against MAGA principles. So people are obviously not happy. Elon went a bit crazy last few days. He was banning, suspending so many accounts that spoke out against him. And we're talking about some major accounts here. You know, people that have hundreds of thousands of followers. Especially one girl called Laura Loomer. And she has always been his supporter. And then apart from this issue, and what Elon did was he kind of suspended her. And her and a lot of other people. And just to give you an insight, this girl was saying, you know, Gaza should be turned into a parking lot. And she was openly saying that on Twitter, but she never got banned or suspended. However, because she spoke out against Elon Musk, guess what? She gets suspended. So this is the article. Elon Musk accused of censorship as H1B migrant controversy deepens. So Elon Musk went a bit crazy. I think he suspended over, I think, thousands of accounts because he got a bit annoyed. and yeah, so this is why, you know, tech gurus, you know, if you cannot control your emotions, you shouldn't really own social media companies. So Trump came to support Elon and he got absolutely plastered. And it's not only because he supported Elon, but Trump is actually going back on his promise. So this is a video of Trump way back in his first term promising to get rid of the H1B visa. He says, this is his own words. He says, I know the H1B very well. It shouldn't be allowed to use it. We shouldn't have it. It's very bad and unfair for our workers, and it should be ended. And those who... so this is him talking about it, but I thought I'd kind of... I know you can't hear the sound, but I thought I'd basically just say what he says. But this video is in Twitter. If you type in H1B Trump on Twitter, you can find this video. And many other videos, and a lot of people are making the fun out of this guy. This guy is Trump's advisor to Trump's AI team, and a lot of people are basically making fun of this guy, saying he looks like a piece of toast. Because if you look at his head shape, it looks like a piece of toast. It's a very funny shape, and so a lot of people are taking the mickey out of him and stuff. So Twitter's going absolutely bananas, basically, over Elon and Trump going back on his word and things like that. And going back to this graph here, you can see, so even though Indians are the highest paid, they're also the highest number of immigrants in the United States and in UK as well. So they are taking a huge chunk of the economy, And you can see here H1B visas in 2020, and you can see this is probably, the number now has probably grown maybe twice, 3 times as much. And somebody also did H1B on Tesla as well, and if I put Tesla, you can see the numbers. It's probably huge, and you can see somebody already did that. Did that kind of analysis, and you can see in Tesla alone, Elon employs 1,500 immigrants on the H1B visa on a median salary of 145,000. So that's 1,500 immigrants with a salary of 145,000 in Tesla, and most of them you can probably guess are coming from India. So that kind of gives you an idea of what the hell is going on. And I showed you this as well. US issued more than 1 million non-immigrant visas to India and 5 million immigrant visas as well. You can see for the second year in a row, issued more than 1 million, and it's a record number. In the last 4 years, number of visitors also increased by 5 times, and more than 2 million Indians traveled to United States in the first 11 months of 2024, a 26% increase over the same period in 2023. And you can see here, over 5 million Indians already have a non-immigrant visa to the US. You can see here from the first statement here. And so we're talking about a huge number here, guys. We're not talking a small amount. We're talking a huge amount. And in UK, like I said to you, 250,000 came last year, and over 127,000 of them are working on these special visas, replacing workers like myself. So this brings me to the final part of the video. Is white... I can't say the word because if I say that word, I'm going to get my channel banned. But it's basically GENOCIDE. And you know what I'm talking about. You can see the screen. So the reason why so many people in America, and especially UK, are angry about immigration and stuff like that is because they feel that they are getting replaced. So there's a lot of articles. Some people say it's a conspiracy theory. Some people says these are rumors spread by racists, and it's not true. However, from everything that I've just mentioned to you, I'm not just talking about Indians here, but immigration as a general. So if you have millions of immigrants coming in, right? And this is a true fact, guys. This is not this is a stat that only 16% of local Americans, white Americans, had babies in America. 16%, and the rest of them, 16% of the babies that were born in America were from whites, and 84% were from immigrants. Which were non-whites, that's what they're saying. So if you look at the stats, look at how many white Americans there were in the 1910s, 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s. And if you look at the stats now, there's less, white Americans having babies. And you can say this is due to a number of reasons. Number one, obviously feminism, because the modern women now, they do not want to have babies. Modern women now, they want to have fun, they want to prioritize their happiness. They don't want to be slaves to no man. They think they can have it all. They want to be career women, boss chicks. They don't want to be doing anything for the man. So that's number one. So modern women, there's less and less people getting married because a lot of these men, they don't want to get married to these modern chicks. It just offers them no value. And when they get divorced, the women takes half their, belongings, assets, properties, money, you name it. So less people getting married to these modern women, and less of these modern women are having babies. That's a big, big problem in the West. The second problem is the LGBTQ community. And I'm not here to thrash the LGBTQ community, guys. I'm not here to thrash anyone. I'm just stating facts. The facts are 10 years ago, the LGBT community in America was less than 1%. Less than 1%. Now, it's gone up to 14%. And you can see the huge jump in the LGBTQ community from less than 1% to 14%. And most of the 14% are Gen Zs, the people who are born, kind of the latest youngsters that were born in the latest generation. And a lot of them are born, either gay, lesbian, or bi, or in between, or they're different genders, and a lot of them are changing genders as well. And so a lot of youngsters are really confused about their sex and genders and stuff like that. They're very, very confused. So that's another thing as well. And there's also other things like the economy. Like I say, it's very, very expensive to have babies now. Men and women are working, so they don't really have much time for themselves. Even men and women don't have time for even to go on dates because they're too stressed out working, making money. And there's other issues as well. Lots of issues, guys. But those are the top three, I would say. And yeah, so this is why you have more immigrants having more babies than the kind of white Americans, as you would say. And also because of DEI wokeness has pushed white people away from high-end positions. Because if you look at all these Hollywood movies, and if you look at a lot of the media that's coming out saying white man is evil, white man is trash, they have been pushing out white men or the white race from a lot of privileged positions, and they were getting replaced by non-whites. And this is everywhere in Hollywood. Hollywood is an extreme case of DEI, where you see a lot of the white male heroes are no more. They don't have any white male heroes. Like you see, do you remember the days in the 80s and 90s? You used to have white male heroes like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. These were action heroes, Jean-Claude Van Damme. They were great like role models for white people. And they got rid of that now. You don't see any of that anymore. It's all replaced by, wokeness or strong females. Like you have all these females replacing all the Marvel characters. You have Rey from Star Wars. You have, basically they're showing that women and minorities are much better than whites. And this is everywhere in Hollywood. It's also, the DEI is also happening everywhere in the workplace. I mean, in my workplace, you see, like I said, I told you, there's more Indians than white people. 80% of the workforce are Indians. So there's less and less whites in good positions, or they get made redundant. And also, I've been involved in interview process as well, guys. This is not a joke. I've been involved in interview process, and I would interview white people, non-whites, Indians, and if the white guy is more skillful, he's more, he has more skills and he's better at the job with better experience compared to an Indian guy who's not very good, but he's like half the salary, he's cheaper, he saves half the cost. I don't make the decisions in the day, but I do the interviews, and I make recommendations. And if I say, look, I think the white guy's really good, they would overrule me. And I'm talking about HR and my manager. They would overrule me, and they will pick the Indian guy instead, who's cheaper and stuff like that. So I said to my manager, I don't want to do any more interviews anymore. So if you're not going to follow my recommendations, then the hell with you guys. And they do it because of DEI, guys. They do it because of this DEI stuff that's going on. And I mean, I'll let you decide whether this white G is real or not. But part of me thinks it might be. I mean, you just have to look at the stats. You just have to look at the, which race is having less and less babies. It's definitely white people. And there's other races who are having more babies, like Indians are having. Look at the population in India. It's growing huge. Africa is growing huge as well. So here's the thing, guys. If you cannot control immigration, if you cannot cap immigration, this is what's going to happen. And this was already happening. It's destroyed a lot of countries like Germany. Germany is at the moment is full of immigrants, and you can see it's absolutely destroyed the culture. It's destroyed the way of life. And if you cannot control immigration, what that happens is, in the beginning, the immigrations, they can come and take kind of the low end jobs, low paid jobs. But what's happening is a lot of these companies, and companies cannot help themselves. They need to save money, so they need to save costs, and they'll do anything to save money. And if they can find a way to hire cheap labor from abroad and not pay higher salaries, they will take it. So what you're going to have is these immigrants are going to come in and they're going to take the low end jobs and the high end jobs, and which means your local population are going to be starving. They're not going to have any jobs. They're going to end up homeless, and they're not going to be getting the experience that they need to climb the ladder because they've been replaced by somebody cheaper from abroad. And a lot of these immigrants, right? I mean, I know a lot of them from my days in East London. They don't all the money that they make, they don't use it in the economy. They send it back home. So if they're from India, they will send the money home because they have huge families in India. So they will send it home. They will build apartments or houses in India. They will give it to their generation to get married and stuff. And so all of that money, actually, they send it home. They don't use it in the British economy. They actually send it home, and a lot of them actually work in visas in UK. Some might work for 5 years. Some might work for 10 years. They make a lot of money, and what they do, they go back to India, or actually a lot of them stay, but some do go back, and some go back with all that money. So that money is not, invested in UK. That money is basically taken back to India. So this person has taken the job, and every immigrant that takes a job takes this position away from somebody locally, right? So if an Indian is taking a high position tech job, that could have been taken up by a local British, national. So they take opportunities away, and they take the money away from the system, and all that money that they save, they send it back home, or they take it back when they go back to India. So you see, it doesn't help at all. It doesn't help the economy. It might make the company some money, but it doesn't trickle down to the everyday people, the local people. It doesn't trickle down. And so this is why you see a lot of countries, especially Canada, UK, are struggling because we have imported so many immigrants in that they are taking every single job in every single sector, and the British people are struggling to, make ends meet. They are struggling to pay for food because of inflation. They are struggling to pay for heat, electricity bills. A lot of them are ending up homeless. So you see why people are so angry, and also what immigrants do. They completely use up the NHS. Like if I want to see the doctor, guys, I have to go on a waiting list. Sometimes even for emergencies it will take me weeks to see the doctor, sometimes even months. If I want to go for a dentist appointment, I have to wait like a month before I can get an appointment. So all of these systems are being squeezed because so many immigrants are coming in, and they are squeezing the system completely. And and obviously they need housing, they need welfare. So more and more money is going out of the government to kind of support these immigrants. And it's crazy, guys. If you as a country cannot control your immigration, and you cap the immigration, then you are completely lost as a country. I mean, it doesn't benefit you as a country in any way whatsoever. It doesn't benefit the local population or you as a country, because all that money is basically wasted. All that money is just wasted, and you're just enriching the companies, but you're not enriching the local people, the people that matter. So that's all I wanted to say for now, guys. See if you guys have a different opinion, then let me know. So we have reached the end of the video now. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to join my other channels. It's all in the description. And also join me in the comment section as well, whether you agree with me, whether you don't agree with me. Let's have a discussion. And also, help the algorithm if you can, guys. And if you want to support the channel. The links are in the description in locals, and also buy me a coffee links there as well. So yeah, take care for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.